Let's go. It's Wild at 94.9, the Bay's number one in music station. DJ E-Rock in the building. This is the basement. And man, this conversation's been long overdue. A lot of people have been trying to link us up for quite some time. I've been watching him all over socials ever since he was 16 years old. Go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
This is Rich Brian. Thank you for having me.
There he is. Rich Brian is in the building right now on the basement. Where's my head? Drops in August, correct?
Yes.
Tell me about that real quick. What can we expect?
You guys can expect, I think, the most the most musical, I guess my last album was also very musical, but this one was fully like pretty much fully self-produced. So you'll hear a lot of kind of my identity through even just the production, but also there's a lot of singing, but it's like there's a lot of singing, but there's also a lot of rapping. It's like the most I've sang and rapped at the same.
Wow.
There's like a 6 minute and a half just straight storytelling song that I'm like really stoked about.
That's
Uh,
fire. I like that.
yeah, so there's a lot of those where I think by the end of the album you'll really feel like you know me as a person. I think the most compared to like any other music I've had out. So
Well,
uh
that's amazing.
it's a very colorful album, I'd say. Very people say colorful and cinematic and nostalgic.
So, what was the biggest like moment that you've had? I mean, you said that this is a solo project, and it's really a solo project, self-produced, self-written. Everything is just all you to the core. What was the most surprising part about doing this all by yourself that you got to like witness, realize, learn?
I think just realizing that I was able to do it because it wasn't meant to be self-produced in the beginning. I was looking for producers to work with. I already had a group of producers that I work with very well, and they worked on the last album, but I just felt like I didn't want to kind of have the same sound because
Mhm.
they have they have like a very distinct sound, and I decided to kind of look for producers and I think through that process it made me realize like, oh, I actually have like a way more clear vision of how I want the album to sound like. And it's really hard to get, no matter how good the producers are and no matter how many big records they've done, it's like they don't know exactly what I want. And that's when I realized like, okay, I mean,
Music is so personal, and I feel
it's
like doing this on your own, like, yo, I mean, if anyone's gonna project what that feels and sounds like the best, it's gonna be you. You know what I
Mhm,
mean?
mhm. But at the same time, it's like it has brought me on such a cool journey of figuring out that like I think there's a switch mentally of like, oh, okay, I am a producer. Like even though I have been producing since 2017, I think there's always been kind of like an imposter syndrome of like, am I a real producer though? And I think this process has made me kind of not have any more doubt of that. And I would kind of have sessions with like, a string player or like singers and kind of be able to ask them exactly like kind of what I hear and what I want. And yeah, it's been awesome, dude. It's
That's
been
awesome. That's
it,
awesome to hear. Like, I mean, these type of breakthrough stories are not only great for us to have, but even for people to listen to. Like, I'm sure that there's also somebody out there that feels like, yo, am I really that person? Can I really do this? But yo, all it really takes is taking that first step forward. You know what I mean? And you did that, and this is I'm very excited for the album to say the least. That's for sure.
thank you.
Um, what's the studio process like for you? Like, to get into that creative mode, to get that creative energy flowing. Like, yo, what is something that you do that's unique to what you put out there?
I think with this album, there's been a lot of I just work from home most of the time because that's
Mhm.
kind of where I have like, as you can see, some like keyboards and equipments and stuff. I have like a lot of guitars in the back. I I kind of like to just go in the studio every day without having any expectations, and I just kind of lay down whatever. I just turn one of these keyboards on and then kind of explore with the sounds and just hit record and just press random keys because I'm not even like a good piano player or like guitar player or anything. And I think that's kind of part of what makes my music sound the way it does because I automatically just explore stuff that people that are like classically trained or like uh had no music theory wouldn't try. And yeah, I
But
just
it evokes a feeling, though.
it evokes
You
a
know what I mean? It
feeling.
evokes a pure emotion. No matter how much background you got in this.
Exactly. And yeah, so I just like to make a lot of beats, really. I make beats and then I write to them. And I, if I feel uninspired, I like to remake instrumentals that I like, and just kind of like try to get it to sound exactly like the song. And yeah, just listen to a lot of music. I think a lot of input.
What would you say is and this is a kind of a crazy question. What would you say is probably the most unhinged thing you've done to get the creative process going?
Let me think. Uh, the most unhinged thing I've done. I think I think
It's a good question, right?
it is a good question. I think rap over like because sometimes a lot of times when I feel uninspired, I feel like it's not actually not having enough inspiration, but it's overthinking
Yeah.
and how to start the idea. So I just like to write on like an existing beat, that I don't care too much about. And I think like sometimes it has like it has been like pretty funny selections because it could just be like a random like old super like drill like Chief Keef beat or something, and it's just like something that is totally like I'm not gonna put this out, and I just write stuff on it just so I can like start rhyming stuff, um,
Yeah,
just so I remember like okay I can still rap.
for
So
sure.
yeah, it could be just like the most random beats, BMF by Rick Ross or like old like Odd Future beats or something, but yeah. It's not extremely unhinged, but yeah.
No, no, I asked that question because I had a conversation with Pusha T not too long ago, and
Yeah.
like he plays like horror movies, like in the
Okay.
background. You know
Okay.
what I mean? And that like kind of like it sets the tone in the studio. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I never really thought about like how
Wow.
that would really affect,
That's yeah, that's so
like the writing of,
that,
of a composition. You know what I mean? But he, yeah, and he told me how this like kind of like helps him like uh like hey, if it fits everything that's going on with the scene of the movie, then I'm on the right direction. I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy, and I would never think that way. You know what I mean?
that's so on brand for Pusha T, honestly. That's great.
Um, yo, back to the new album comes out in August. If Where's My Head was a person, what would they dress like, and what job would they have?
Mm. If Where's My Head was a person, what would they dress like? I think they would dress like I think they would dress really comfortably. I think they would just dress. It doesn't mean they look bad or anything, but they're comfortable. And I would say job. I would say maybe like a carpenter.
A carpenter.
Yeah, or just someone that works with their hands.
So a cozy carpenter, a very comfortable carpenter.
Yeah, I would say so. Either that or a crooked cop. I don't. There's two
um,
sides.
I know a person like you has a very busy schedule. I've been following you for quite a long time. What do you do during your free time?
I play Call of Duty.
Get
I,
out of here. I was about to
I
ask you what your go-to game was next, but wow.
I've
What's
been
your KD?
not good.
Not
I
good.
I play, the thing is, I play with, okay, I'm amazing at gun game, I'd say.
Okay.
I would say like if I'm doing gun game, like I would be number one a lot of times. But I play Warzone
Are you
Resurgence.
a rebirth or casual? What are you?
I do the Rebirth Island with
Okay.
and I play with two of my friends. And the thing is, they were the ones that got me into it. And I would always be kind of the worst, compared to them. But there are
To be
some.
carried.
Yeah, but there are some nights though, like recently, where I dropped like 11 kills, 12 kills. And it was like actually I was number one compared to them. And I was like,
Okay.
crazy. I don't know what happened. I just logged in one time. But that honestly is like a really bad addiction that I have right now because I would be, at home wanting to work and stuff, and then they would hit me up like pod, and
Like,
I'll
yo, dropping in or what?
yeah, and I would not be able to say no because it's like the adrenaline is and just the feeling of just hanging out with your friends virtually is so fun.
It's such a big dopamine hit. I mean, I play every single night.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I play with some guys from Toronto and Vancouver. They're DJs also.
Okay.
One is DJ Marvel out there in Vancouver. I play with two Toronto DJs also. Grand Theft. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but another good friend of Diplo. He's actually cracked. He's crazy, man. And another guy named ESP.
What do you guys
And
play on COD?
so we started playing Rebirth, and then we made our way into casual. Have you played Warzone casual or so it starts out just like Battle Royale.
Okay.
It is Battle Royale, but then it's mixed with bots and real people.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a good, like
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's kind of like a good chill setting because you run into probably like 50% bots and you're just killing, shooting the shit, talking with your friends. But then when it gets down to the nitty gritty and it's like 20 people left, it's all real people.
Yeah.
And then it gets like really intense. And that shit actually, I love casual just because of the pace. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, yo, in Rebirth, like you're just gunning, 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 and you're cussing at whoever. I mean, dude, I've gotten like I think like a 14-day chat ban because of how frustrated I've gotten before.
Oh my God.
Oh, bro, I'm the worst, man.
What were you saying?
I do. If I were to say that on this interview right now, I'd be fired from my radio station. That's how bad I get
Yeah.
sometimes.
I have played Warzone casual. It was fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, if you just want to just hang and you just want to like chill with your boys and shoot the shit. I mean, it's cool. And then the pace kicks in at the very end, and then you're playing Rebirth for like 20
Yeah.
minutes at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How long is a gaming session for you usually? Because you say you do it every.
Oh man, it's my worst. It's my worst habit.
No, I know. Me too.
It's my worst habit, bro. Like literally, like, and I'm newly married.
Mm. Congratulations.
I cannot probably I don't think I remember the same there's many days where I fall asleep in the same bed as my wife because I'm up late playing.
Right. Right.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's my worst problem. Like, yo, sometimes well, they're 3 hours ahead. So I will start probably like around 10 o'clock and then
Okay.
I'll end at 12, which is like 3 a.m. for them. So
Right.
it's not that bad. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
That's actually not bad at all.
What about you? What's your longest Call of Duty session that you've had?
I've done I've done I've done 2:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m.
No way.
Yeah, that was at by the end of it I felt like shit. Uh, but usually I feel like a normal-ish schedule would be like still kind of a lot. Like around 8:30 to 9, like 9 p.m. ish to like 1 a.m.,
That's
1:30.
not that bad. That's normal.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
But 2:30 to midnight, bro, that's
Yeah.
insane.
That was like, oh, I'm free today. Fuck it. Yeah. But by the end of it, and what's crazy is the entire time we didn't get a single win.
Get out of here. Oh God, that's the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah. Not a single win. Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah,
Well, we definitely got to get up on a game and run a few.
yeah.
I don't think it'll be from 2:30 to midnight, but definitely, man, I'll send you my gamer tag after this. Yo, I heard that you are also big on like cooking and stuff like that. What's your go-to dish? What's your signature dish right now that you can be in? You can just be like, you know what? This is what we're doing, and I know I'm gonna kill it. And if I were
Yeah.
to actually dive into doing this for a living, I would kill that too.
Yeah.
What's that signature dish?
I think there are a couple of I mean the fastest to go to is I've been making a lot of steaks because I've been kind of like on a health journey a little bit, just like a working out journey. So it's like just quick and easy. But I love making Indonesian food. There's like this like spicy chicken recipe that has like a lot of spices in it. It has like lime leaves and like lemongrass and like turmeric and stuff like that. And I'm pretty good at making that. And I'm also really good at making oxtails.
Wow, oxtails.
Yeah, like I saw this like Jamaican oxtail recipe on YouTube one time, and I saw a different video, and then I just kind of combined those two videos, and it turned out great.
Wow. So it was like a YouTube tutorial mashup type of like recipe or
Yeah, I
wow.
took the best of the two recipes and used it.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. If you had your own cooking show, what would it be called?
Um, it would be called uh it would be called wow, dude. How fast do people answer these questions usually? Because I'm
I mean, I just come up with them on the fly and I write them down. I'm like, you know what, man? I think this would be a good question to ask.
it would be called don't forget to turn off the stove.
Do you leave the stove on?
uh one time in my life I have.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty bad. My wife yelled at me this morning for leaving the stove on, and I'm like, I'll cook,
Yeah.
right? And so, I don't know, something will happen, my phone will ring, or I'll just have like this like random creative thought, or I'll be thinking about questions to ask you on this like interview, and then literally it'll just distract me. I'll cook my food, and then I'll like leave the stove on. I get my
Yeah.
ass handed to me all the time, man.
With the you leave the stove on with stuff on it or
No, it's just a burner, for the
okay.
most part, you know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not a not a great habit, man. Not a
Yeah.
great habit. Sometimes I'll be thinking about Call of Duty. I don't know. Like I just get distracted, you know? So look, man, you got a lot going on. The new album's coming out in August. Head in the Clouds, LA. Heard you destroyed it. You got NYC on deck.
Hmm.
How do you flip the energy between crowds from both of those regions? Obviously, LA is a different world than NYC. NYC is a different world than LA. Like, yo, are there things different that you do in those performances?
I think I would say no. I think like every time I try to like just do the best show possible, but New York usually has more energy for some reason. Um,
Why is that?
I feel like I don't know, maybe the people are different. I think people are just less shy, maybe. New York is just used to more like people are just always around other people and they're just always more I don't know. It's like going to a party in LA. It's like you go. I went to a thing recently by myself, and I go inside and I just like it feels like everyone there does not want to talk to you, and it feels. I come up to somebody to talk to them, and it's just like, oh, I'm sorry. You don't want to talk to people, and you're at a
Do
party.
they know who you are though?
Well, no,
Like
they don't. Um, but if they do,
maybe that would change in LA. Like in LA, I feel like if they were to know, they might
if
be a
they
little.
know,
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just the nature of the city. You know what I mean?
yeah, if they know who I am, that usually makes it a lot easier. But yeah, I don't know. The energy is it was so great in Head in the Clouds in New York last time. Uh, I think the biggest difference with this one specifically is I'm gonna have my album's gonna be out at the time during
Mhm.
that time, so it'll be more music from the album. Um,
It'd be like a celebration, pretty much, like
pretty
like
much,
an album release
pretty
jump off. You know what I mean?
pretty much.
I like that, man. I
Yeah.
like that. Like I said, I've been following you for quite a long time, a very long time, and I'm very happy to see all the success that you're experiencing, and all the big looks that you've been getting for quite a long time. That has there ever been a moment where you've like sat there and realized, like, damn, this is crazy. I'm not that kid no more. Like I'm this guy now.
Yeah,
Like what could you tell me a story that's attached to that moment? Like, like what moment have you had where you're just like, dude, this is what the hell? Like, I'm not that kid from that stick no more. Like, yo, I'm that guy.
I think man, I think one of the moments was probably like it's definitely been, during the process of making this album, there's been a lot of like I've gotten a lot of, you know, from other people that have known me for a long time. They would tell me like this you feel a lot more. sure about what you want and you're a lot more intentional about your decisions. And usually, um, like I had someone tell me that I work with a lot tell me that I feel like I'm able to trust your decisions a lot more. And I
Wow.
oh yeah, so do you not feel that way back then? And they were like, not really, not as much. But yeah, but this time it's like because they know that, you know, I am so sure about the decision and I know the reason why I want it to be a specific way. And it's just like, I don't know, that meant a lot to me to hear that. And also just like experiences, like for example, I have this one song with Charlotte Day Wilson, and she's such a great singer. I heard her on a song with Bad Bad Not Good a while ago, and it was just like my favorite song. And I wanted to get her on a song, and then she was gonna originally it was gonna be like a her sending me like a verse type thing,
Yeah.
but it was taking a while because she was on tour. And then one day she was like, "Oh, I'm in town. Should we just do an in-person session?" And we did that, and that was another one where I was just like, "Oh, this is some real shit," and I'm making something very yeah, I don't know. It felt like a level up moment for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. If there was anything that you could tell your 16-year-old self today, what would it be?
I would say take your time on things, and the only thing that matters is if you like what you're making. Because you know, instead of try to make what you think people like or what you think will work out there, you know, I think the world is looking for unique sounds and people that are true to themselves. So if you stay as true to yourself as possible, but you like it, um, no matter what, you're gonna find that group of people, and that group of people are gonna find you that like your stuff. So yeah, just stay true to yourself.
I love it. And that's something that you've done very well, my man.
Thank
Very
you,
well.
thank
You
you.
know, as a fan, I'm very, like I said, man, like, I like when we got this on the books to have this conversation, I was definitely excited to have this conversation just because like, I've watched you since you were 16
Yeah,
and to see the growth and everything. I love it. We got to get you out to Vegas, man. And, we got to hang out, get a good meal, maybe
yeah,
get a steak. I know you're on the, on the health kick, man. There's a lot of great steakhouses out here. You know what I mean? But, we'll do it up, man. Live life and celebrate all this, like,
thank
that's going on right now. But before we're out of here, let them know the album, everything, where they can find you. What's good, man?
Yes. So Where Is My Head? The album is coming out on August 15th. There's already 3 songs that dropped from it. The most recent one is Jumpy featuring Ski Mask. And my name is Rich Brian. You could find me by searching Rich Brian on most social media platforms. I'll be there. And yeah, I'll be posting stuff.
Love it. There
Yeah.
it is. You know what it is. DJ E Rock in the building. My guy, Rich Brian, thank you so much for your time, my guy. And hopefully we get to hang out soon, man. Would love to you know, have an adult beverage now that you're probably of age. You know what I mean? So I like where this is going. So
Absolutely. Thank you
my
so much.
guy, thank you so much. You know what it is? It's Wild 94.9 The Bay's number one in music station, The Basement. DJ E Rock in the building. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, we were just talking about this off air about how you had a record with Diplo that I was supporting. I didn't even know it never came out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually very surprised that it didn't come out. So
The reason why I didn't come out officially was because the reason he got me on that track was to replace Justin Bieber.
what?
Because Justin had a verse on there, and he couldn't put it out because Scooter Brown wasn't letting him because it was like a schedule conflict or something. But then,
That's crazy.
yeah, Diplo was just like, all right, well, I still want to put it out, so let's just get this kid from Indonesia on it and put it on SoundCloud.